Ghosts are always very interesting topics to discuss because we have heard lots of stories from our childhood about ghosts and terrific events. So let's discuss about them. Let's know the reality of this ghost. So first of all, let's try to understand what is ghost. So a ghost is a soul or spirit of a dead person or animal that is believed to be able to appear to the living. So description of ghosts vary widely, from an invisible presence to translucent or barely visible wispy shapes to realistic lifelike forms. So they have very weird description in different culture, different location, different society. So other terms associated with the ghost are haunt, phantom, shade, spectre, spirit, spook, demon, or ghoul. So these are the terms which people use to describe ghost, or even they just take it as a ghost. So ghosts are generally described as solitary and human-like essence, from which we have heard lots of ghost or spooky stories about them. They are believed to haunt particular locations, object, or people they were associated with in life. So they can actually haunt anyone, particularly people, subject who was very close to them in past, or they can also haunt particularly locations or object from which they are obsessed. So according to a 2009 study by Pew Research Center, 18% of Americans say that they have seen a ghost. Crazy, right? So now let's understand how Hinduism, how ancient Indian culture actually explains ghosts. According to it, ghosts are the souls of individuals who suffered from a violent death, or it can be a soul of the people for whom the appropriate death rituals were not performed at a time. So ghosts are usually believed to be restless due to some factor that prevents them from moving on, or just unsettled matters in their lives with which they are obsessed. They are said to sometimes ride or possess people, causing the host to share their obsession or delusion and perhaps help them work towards it in some ways. So there is an ancient exorcism ritual from the Atharva Veda to cure cases of ghost possession. Ghosts are usually invisible, but many Hindus claim to have occasionally seen ghosts in a wide variety of forms. So usually their feet reveal them to be ghosts since they face backwards and never touches the earth, maybe sometimes entirely missing, or other abnormalities. So they can also speak, but with only a strange nasal twang only, and also they don't cast any shadows. However, they are often believed to have subtle illusionary hypnotic effect that can temporarily mask these signs and cause unwary people to not immediately notice that they are obviously ghosts. A common Hindu belief about ghosts is that they never touch the earth, fearing that her sacred touch will draw them in and force them to move on, pulling them away from their obsession. Ghosts often lurk in branches of specific types of trees, such as shala trees and peepal trees, which are associated with offering to the ancestors and so are spiritually connected with the realms of the dead. Traditional Hindus usually avoid these trees at night, especially around midnights. So basically, human being is made of soul, gross body, and subtle body. When death happens, human being generally becomes soul and subtle body only. So gross body is going to dead basically. So when a people dies, a gross body gets destroyed at that particular time. So the ghosts are generally soul and subtle body, and they just roams around this whole earth as a ghost. Now let's try to understand the difference between ghost and spirits. So ghost and spirits are essentially the same, as they live in the same realm and have the same kind of energy. However, there are subtle differences also which can actually make them different from each other. A ghost has more of a negative connotation associated with it when in a comparison to a spirit. It's like a soul that finds it difficult to cross the realm between living and the non-living. On the other hand, spirits are there, and we may feel them, such as a cold blast of air or a sound in the corner. They are like elves in a fairy tales who might be mysterious but not harm you maliciously. There could be bad spirits too, which are out to harm us. Ghosts are usually associated with someone who is angry, aggressive, and has lots of hurt and pent up frustration within. Such kind of unhappy ghosts are known as poltergeist, and we'll be talking about them just in a minute. So yes, we will be also discussing the types of ghosts. Make sure to listen whole podcast. To sum up, ghosts are the stuck souls waiting to pass on to the next realm and continue with the learning process, whereas spirits are those that have passed on the next realm and now are able to fluidly move across different realms and be beside those who need comfort. So there are also different types of ghosts and spirits also. So these types are actually developed or made by paranormal experts or just society. So we researched from various websites and various sources to actually make the difference between different ghosts. So here is our perspective or our opinion or our research study which can actually differentiate ghost. So first of all, the first type of ghost is the interactive personality. The most common of all ghosts spotted is usually of a deceased person, sometime a family member or perhaps even a historical figure. This ghost can be friendly or not, but often show themselves to others in variety of ways. They can become visible, they can speak or make noise. Even they can touch you or even emit an odor like perfume or cigars or smoke. So they have different abilities to let you know where they are. Experts say that this type of ghost retains its former personality of when they were alive and can feel emotions. They are visiting you to comfort you or let you know something very important which can happen to you in future or which might you want to hear. So if you happen to see a lost loved one, there are chances that they are there because they feel you want or need to see them. Second type of ghost is that ectoplasm or ecto-mist. Ever seen a mist or fog that almost looks like it's swirling? If so, you may be witnessing what paranormal investigators deem as an ecto-mist or ghostly mist. This vaporous cloud usually appears several feet off the ground and can move swiftly or simply stay still, almost like it's orbiting. These ghostly encounters have been captured on many videos, and in photographs you can clearly see that they are white, grey or even black. Although they can simply appear this way, linger then move away quickly, sometimes ectoplasms appear before becoming a full-bodied appearance. Many people have witnessed them outdoors in graveyards, battlefields and historical sites. Third type of ghost is poltergeist. Perhaps one of the most popular term most of us have heard when it comes to ghost. The word poltergeist actually means noisy ghost because it is said to have the ability to move or knock things over, make noise, and manipulate the physical or psychological environment. So they make loud knocking sounds, light turning on and off, doors slamming, even fires breaking out mysteriously, and this all stuff with spiritual disturbance. Another frightening aspect of the poltergeist ghost is that these events eventually uh, or usually starts out slowly and mildly, then begins to intensify, which actually terrific. Some experts explain it as a mass form of energy that a living person is controlling unknowingly. Orbs are known as four type of ghost, and orbs are probably the most photographed type of anomaly. They appear as a transparent or translucent ball of light that is hovering over the ground. It is believed that orbs are the soul of a human or even an animal that has died and is traveling around from one place to another. The circular shape they make, which can make it easier for them to move around, and is often the first state they appear in before they become a full-bodied apparition. If you are lucky enough to capture an orb on video, you will be amazed by how fast they can move. In photographs, they are usually white but can be blue as well. So the fifth and last type of ghost are funnel ghosts. Most often spotted in homes or old historical buildings, the funnel ghost or vortex is frequently associated with a cold spot. They usually take on the shape of swirling funnel, and most paranormal experts believe that they are loved one returning for a visit or even a former resident of the home, appearing as a wisp of light or a swirling spiral of the light. They are often caught in photographs or on videos. So I think you got the idea about different types and their abilities to actually harm or protect us. So this all information is just a combination of different sources, different websites, different books, and we are not providing any factful information in this particular episode. So that it's myth actually. It can be a factful information, fact, or it can be a myth. So don't take it very seriously, or you might want to take it. Thank you so much for listening to me. I will meet you directly in the next episode of Knowell series.